Is there a better movie out there than Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2? It's arguably one of the greatest Marvel films ever created. Dare we say, even better than Deadpool? The film added quite a bit to the already popular franchise, but it still left us with questions. One of the most important of those, which Marvel characters should join all the fun in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? If you can't get enough Guardians, hit the subscribe button to join our notification squad and stay up to date on our latest videos.
Return to yourselves, no further harm will come to you. You have my word.
Thor. With the introduction to the newest Marvel trailer, Thor Ragnarok, we finally got to see a side of Thor that we haven't seen yet. Comedy. That's right, this trailer is under 2 minutes and already packs a punch with edgy comedy and a great soundtrack. It also feels pretty familiar, kind of like a spin-off of Guardians of the Galaxy Volumes 1 and 2. Ego is originally from Thor series, so it's not too far-fetched for an idea to think that Thor may appear in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, especially with some of the other possible characters that have coexisted storylines in the past: Moondragon, Alter Ego, Phyla-Vell, Thanos, Adam Warlock, and Gamora. A possible storyline which would tie all the characters together nicely would be the War of the Kings, where the Inhumans and the Guardians are at war with one another. The Inhumans use a weapon that opens a hole in the multiverse. We think that Thor has the potential for some hilarious one-liners. Just imagine the scenes between Thor and Star-Lord. We could also foresee the utter confusion that Thor would have with just a character like Rocket Raccoon. We just hope Rocket doesn't take offense to Thor's future remarks.
It is known by many names. My people called it Galactus, the devourer of worlds.
Galactus. It was rumored that Marvel Studios wanted to acquire the rights to both Silver Surfer and Galactus from Fox Studios. They were willing to exchange an extension on Daredevil to make it happen. Unfortunately, Fox Studios wasn't willing to give up the rights to the characters without a hefty sum of money, and so the idea for Silver Surfer and Galactus as characters in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 was tossed into the nearest wastebasket. We still hope that Marvel won't give up in their fight to acquire Galactus. It would bring an interesting story to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, even with the elimination of Ego. Now, Galactus is a godlike figure that consumes inhabited planets to maintain his power, similar to Ego in that aspect of requiring planets and inhabitants for their survival. Galactus stumbles upon Ego and is about to consume the planet when Thor steps in to protect Ego, finding Galactus to be the bigger threat. With an introduction to Galactus, we may also get a storyline with both Thor and the Silver Surfer, which would undoubtedly make for an incredible Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, where we might also get to see Ego's brother with the planet Alter Ego.
This is the end for us both.
The Silver Surfer. We know now that Marvel Studios was interested in obtaining the rights to the Silver Surfer for Guardians of the Galaxy, and we can't imagine a better fit for the film, especially if Galactus will be a part of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. The Silver Surfer and Galactus are a pair destined for greatness. Although Norrin Radd may not originally believe so, the young adventurer of the planet Zenlaw bargains with Galactus after he learns the planet consumer wants to devour his world. Radd pledges to seek out planets for Galactus as long as Zenlaw and his love interest Shala Bal remain unharmed. Galactus gives him a portion of the power cosmic, transforming him into the Silver Surfer. The Silver Surfer is loyal to Galactus, but eventually, when his master is summoned to Earth, he meets the Fantastic Four. He's touched by them and rebels against Galactus. Galactus flees from Earth, leaving the Silver Surfer behind, but before doing so, he puts an invisible barrier around the planet that only affects him. He eventually escapes the barrier and will go on to battle spaceborne menaces, chiefly Thanos. If Thanos makes an appearance in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, we're crossing our fingers and toes in hopes that the Silver Surfer will join the Guardians of the Galaxy to defeat Thanos.
Back off, Spot, or I call security.
Cosmo is security.
Cosmo the Space Dog. It wouldn't be out of this world to think that Cosmo the Space Dog might make an appearance in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. As we were watching the film, I'm sure we were all thinking the same thing the moment he appeared on screen. We have one furry creature sidekick already, although to be sure not to tell Rocket we called him a sidekick. He's more human than probably all the other characters combined as far as complexity goes. Cosmo is now a part of the team in the comics and plots courses for trouble spots in the universe. His loyalty comes into question after a group of Skrulls attacks the ship and destroys the Continuum Cortex. Cosmo has to prove his loyalty to Adam Warlock after he accuses Cosmo of being a traitor. The franchise really needs a dog with plenty of upgrades and zombie fighting skills. Those upgrades do not come without flaws, though. In the comic series, the talking dog discovers that he has a transmode virus, which will slowly kill him. We also see plenty of flaws in the telepathic Soviet dog put in charge of security in the space station Nowhere. Fans of Guardians of the Galaxy love a flawed character, especially if it's a talking dog.
But he was about the only family I had.
No. He wasn't.
Phyla-Vell. Phyla-Vell is one of the most extraordinary characters in the Marvel Universe. As the second offspring of Captain Mar-Vell, she is transformed and altered to become Phyla-Vell. It was hinted for many years that Phyla-Vell was in fact attracted to women, until she admits that she's attracted to Moondragon and invites her on the tour of the Spiral Nebula near Renault 7. Of course, before the two can go on the adventure, they wander through a portal. Following the Annihilation series, Phyla-Vell joins up with the Guardians of the Galaxy and helps Drax in his search for an Earth Girl. Their search leads Phyla-Vell into the Dragon, where she transforms into Martyr. Martyr is a much different figure from Phyla-Vell, more abrasive and aggressive. She kidnaps the Inhuman Princess Crystal, putting a halt on negotiations for the Inhumans to stop the War of Kings. The battle between the Inhumans and the Guardians continues to escalate, and to end the war, the Inhumans detonate a weapon that shatters space and creates a multiversal fault. This transforms Adam Warlock into the villainous and powerful Magus. Phyla-Vell would be essential in a storyline where Magus is the main antagonist for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and she would be the first openly gay character on screen for the MCU.
Behold.
Moondragon. If Phyla-Vell is made a part of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, they would undoubtedly have to also include Moondragon. Not just because they're lovers, but because Moondragon would be a great addition to the Guardians of the Galaxy team. She is unlike any of the Marvel characters, since she has achieved her extraordinary talents purely through extreme degrees of personal regimen. She was not just gifted the abilities through some freak paranormal accident or through birth, which makes her incredibly dangerous and also strong-willed. But Moondragon's will can be easily manipulated, like when she's forced to kill her father during a confrontation with the Avengers. Thor brings Moondragon before his father Odin to determine if she is a good person. In the comic series, Moondragon is later accepted as an unofficial member of the Guardians of the Galaxy, where she assists Mantis and Cosmo as part of the telepathic support team. Moondragon, of course, has an incredible storyline and could have an entire franchise made on the battle between the Dragon of the Moon and herself. If Marvel chooses to skip over that part for time's sake, we'll have to accept that and live knowing that the dragon may still stir within the disciplined mind of Moondragon.
Bring it down hard. Someday, put it together.
What are you doing?
Dance off, bro. Me and you.
Alter Ego. Many of the biggest Marvel fans still don't know a lot about Ego. Ego is the villain of the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and the father of our favorite hero, Star-Lord. But you may not know that the planet had a brother named Alter Ego. Alter Ego was imprisoned by the Collector and the Stranger, who created both Ego and Alter Ego for the sheer pleasure of making the two planets battle each other. The Stranger wanted to make sure that Alter Ego despised his brother, since he intended for the two planets to battle it out and see who was superior. Ego defended himself against his brother, but before he could destroy the planet entirely, Thor stops him. Alter Ego's remains fall in alignment with Ego's orbit, becoming a moon for the planet Ego, and the two planets travel the universe together. Now, here's where there's a possibility that Alter Ego may make an appearance in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Ego is initially blown to smithereens as far as the planet is concerned, but since we already know that Alter Ego survived nearly being killed once, there's a strong chance that the explosion didn't affect him, and he could make an appearance seeking revenge for his brother in Volume 3. It's highly unlikely, but we'll have to remember this is all just speculation anyways.
I present to you Tanalir Tevan, the Collector.
Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock is an extremely important character as far as Guardians of the Galaxy goes. He's the only character that has appeared in not just one, but 2 cutscenes. Yet we know very little about the character. In Volume 2, the end credits reveal that an artificial being by the name of Adam has been created and now dwells inside of the golden cocoon. Adam Warlock is the being inside of it. We were also introduced to the idea of Adam inside of the Collector's Lair in Volume 1, although very briefly do we get to see the cocoon has been stored away there. The Collector believes that something terrible is going to happen to the universe, and in a way acts as Noah in biblical terms by stowing away anything valuable or unique to the world inside his lair. We'll discover the cocoon is both immensely valuable and could result in the universe's eventual destruction. Warlock's storyline is much more serious, which is required in the chaotic and comical dynamic of the Guardians of the Galaxy team. If he doesn't end up being the villainous Magus in Volume 3, then we look forward to a character that has common sense, even if he lacks a sense of humor.
Oh, yeah.
Star Thief. We feel Star Thief should at least get a mention as a possibility in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. If we have any chances of a backstory with Rocket Raccoon, we need an introduction to Star Thief. Star Thief is named by Adam Warlock after he discovers that a man on Earth is in charge of the sudden disappearance of stars. Barry Bowman is in a comatose state and has no use of his 5 senses or his body, but finds that he can easily control his nurse Tom Voxen to discover the limitless knowledge of books in the human world. Tom eventually discovers that his patient Barry Bowman is planning to eliminate the sun and kill everyone on Earth. Tom shoots him. Although Barry's physical body is dead, his consciousness survives and hops from body to body throughout the galaxy. That is, until he's imprisoned and sent to the insane asylum known as Half-World. Star Thief and Rocket Raccoon's fates would intersect in Half-World since Rocket was the head of security. Star Thief's powers threatened to overwhelm the other anthropomorphized animal wardens. A plan was to put in place so all the wardens would become part of a biological person. They could only be opened if every Half-World resident was on Half-World and willing to release Bowman. Rocket was forced to exile himself and erase all his memories, so no one knew how to release Star Thief and their own bodies from their imprisoned state. We finally understand the depth behind Rocket Raccoon, but we can only fully grasp it with an introduction to Star Thief in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
I'm gonna wait out here, okay? It's a big house. It's funny that I only ever see 2 of you. It's almost like the studio couldn't afford another X-Man.
Deadpool. Did you really think we wouldn't add Deadpool to the list of hopeful faces we'll see in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? At the very least, he's going to be a part of the end credits. Let me stop you before you scratch a hole through your head out of confusion. Marvel already almost introduced us to a unified Marvel multiverse that we've been waiting for in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. If you remember the cutscene where Stan Lee appears and discusses his time as a FedEx employee, referencing his cameo in Captain America Civil War, he also used a similar line where he referenced his time working as a DJ in a strip club, which would have been his cameo in Deadpool. Unfortunately, that line was pulled and the Captain America Civil War was used instead. So close, Marvel, so close! Also, Deadpool and Thanos have a really bizarre connection as part of a love triangle with Death. That's right, they're both battling to woo her and ultimately make her fall in love with them. It's all the more reason to just add Deadpool to the Guardians of the Galaxy films already. Hey, Fox Studios, we're looking at you to give Marvel Studios the rights to use him in the film. Do it.
This place always gives me the creeps. Ain't nothing spooks me.
We know there are plenty of Marvel fans that hope to see quite a few other additions to the next film. If we missed any, tell us who you think should be a part of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we hope you'll join us next time.